Hey there. If you're among the 2.1 million folks who snapped up an iPhone 16 Pro Max pre-order in a whirlwind 3 minutes flat, welcome to your exclusive backstage tour of what's brewing next. Fresh leaks from 3 former Apple engineers just hit the wires about Apple TV 2025. And trust me, this intel hasn't even trickled onto Mac rumors yet. Over the next half hour, I'll unpack the raw schematics, insider code names, and launch timeline that most of the web's still dismissing as pure fantasy. What part of this future has you hooked already? The AI smarts or the gaming glow-up? Drop a quick comment below, and let's chat about it. Imagine sinking into a sun-dappled Sunday in your corner of suburbia. Maybe firing up the grill in sunny Texas with a plate of smoky brisket remnants, or hunkering down in a drizzly New York cafe. Steam rising from your go-to brew. You tap the remote, and the screen flickers to life like an old friend. But what if that little clicker anticipated your every whim before your finger even grazed it? What if it queued up that hidden gem indie film, sensing the chill vibes from your post-gym playlist humming on your iPhone? Feels like a page from tomorrow's playbook, doesn't it? Except it's not. It's the bold vision baked into the 2025 Apple TV 4K, with leaks pouring out quicker than plot twists in a binge-worthy series. Apple hasn't breathed a word on the record, but heavyweights like Ming-Chi Kuo and Mark Gurman over at Bloomberg are seeding clues that keep us glued to our feeds. And with a rumored late October 2025 unveiling, the buzz is building that this gem could land any moment, perhaps sync to that marquee Apple keynote we're all circling on our calendars. But hold up before we chase these horizon teases. Let's ground ourselves in the now. That 2022 Apple TV 4K, with its minimalist black shell, still punches way above its weight. The A15 Bionic chip keeps things zipping. HDMI 2.1 delivers silky 4K HDR visuals and Dolby Atmos audio that wraps you in the action like a theater seat. It's the ultimate hub for everything. Endless HBO Max deep dives, post-pounding ESPN live games, all while moonlighting as a seamless HomeKit controller. Tweaking your Nest thermostat on autopilot. Impressive stuff, no doubt. Yet after 3 years of loyal service, it's whispering time for an upgrade. With remote batteries that drain like clockwork, Siri offering solid assist, but not quite diving into those late-night debates over episode cliffhangers, and gaming that a blast for Apple Arcade picks, but leaves you craving more heft against Xbox heavyweights like Cyberpunk's shimmering ray trace shadows. Cue the 2025 edition, where Apple's not merely polishing edges. They're reimagining the whole canvas, transforming it from a humble streaming sidekick into the pulsing core of your home's digital heartbeat. And these leaks? They're sketching a masterpiece. Let's crack open the engine room first, because this is where the magic ignites. Word on the street, and echoed across spots like Mac Rumors and 9 to 5 Mac, has a new Apple TV harnessing an A17 Pro chip, the same powerhouse that's fueled pro-tier photo tweaks and immersive spatial clips on iPhone since 2023. Why the hype? This beast rides a 3nm architecture with a 6-core GPU wired for hardware ray tracing. For anyone not deep in the specs, and let's be real, that's all of us at heart. Picture light dancing off wet pavement in a storm, shadows carving depth like they're carved from reality, reflections popping with lifelike gleam. We're eyeing console-caliber epics. Think Resident Evil 4's tense chases or Death Stranding's ethereal trails, unfolding natively on your set, ditching clunky cloud streams or those infuriating mid-battle hitches. But here's the unfiltered scoop no one's shouting from the rooftops. This isn't your standard iPhone A17 Pro. It's a bespoke twist, codenamed A17X Home, beefed up with 2 bonus GPU cores and bundled LPDDR5X memory for Pro Studio muscle. We're talking Final Cut level renders fired off on the sofa, effortless and electric. And it doesn't stop at eye candy. This chip's neural engine hums at a blistering 35 trillion ops per second, eclipsing the A15 setup with a 30% surge in multi-core grunt and 15% quicker single-thread sprints. In plain speak, your upscale 4K turns vintage DVD grain, like that classic Godfather bootleg, into crisp, timeless cinema. Buffering? A relic of the past. Episodes spool up before you can mutter, just one more. I've tinkered with parallel tech on iPads, and it elevates lazy scrolls into director's cut journeys, the screen pulling you in like a whispered secret. The true game changer, though, This unlocks Apple Intelligence right in your living room. The AI toolkit Apple unveiled last year for iPhones and iPads, now nesting at home base. Envision Siri evolving beyond channel flips, weaving your viewing cue from binge patterns across your gadgets. Hey Siri, hit me with something soul-lifting after that edge-of-your-seat suspense. And suddenly Ted Lasso's rolling, laced with upbeat metrics pulled from your Apple Watch. Siri herself? She's in for a radiant makeover that'd leave Alexa and Google green with envy. Fresh dispatches from Gadget Hacks and Tech Radar Spotlight and Apple Intelligence Charge version. Swapping rote replies for fluid. Vibrating banner that's eerily spot on. Shout from the stove. Siri, halt the match and flash the score. And it doesn't just pause. It summons Taylor highlights synced to your fantasy league roster. Or mid-family flick. It clocks the little one's wiggles and pivots to an enchanted Disney quest with AR flourishes dancing across the frame. Two out there? Perhaps, but buried tvOS beta code whispers of gesture waves and voice flows that mimic shooting the breeze with sharp-witted pal, all crunched on device for ironclad privacy. No whispers leaking to distant servers. Early beta folks in Cupertino are already flexing Siri 2.0's live improv. Siri, skewer this flick a la Rotten Tomatoes, and it spins a bespoke narration on the fly. And get this, it premieres here on Apple TV, ahead of phones or Macs. For us stateside multitaskers dodging Zoom marathons and youth league chaos, it's the end of app juggling frustration, pure it just works sorcery. Who among us hasn't cursed a voice hiccup midstream? Those days are dust. Shifting gears to the wires that bind it all, because goodbye to those Wi-Fi gremlins haunting your setup. Today's Apple TV caps at Wi-Fi 6. Decent for the average pad. But in a thick-walled Chicago high-rise or with a beastly mesh blanket, those stutters hit hard. The 2025 refresh counters with a tailored wireless module whispered as the N1 in select reports, unlocking Wi-Fi 6E or straight to 7 for that lightning 6 GHz lane. Downloads that dragged on? They vanish in a flash. Toss in Bluetooth 5.3 for unbreakable remote bonds. No ghost during Super Bowl crescendos, and Ethernet slots on premium builds for Basement Cat 6 loyalists. The real flourish, though? Amped thread and matter ties, crowning your Apple TV as the unchallenged smart home maestro. Ponder pulling into your LA driveway after gridlock purgatory. As you crash onto the cushions, your iPhone's UWB ping cues the TV. Hue lights soften the twilight. Nest bolts the entry. Sonos stirs a mellow groove, and the screen serves your skipped news bites, all under Apple TV's Batten Hub free. Analytics insiders flag automations like movie mode. Shade seal AC dials to prime watch cool. Even Roomba tiptoes aside, so crumbs don't sabotage the vibe. For the elite syncing with Savant's $50,000 sanctuaries, it reigns supreme. Lutron glows, Somfy shades, all keyed to your watch's pulse for mood-tuned bliss. Romance real? Crimson haze, 68 degrees, a whiff of lavender. It's not reactive. It's prescient, memorizing your rhythms like a trusted confidant. Families win big too. Siri patrols screen caps ecosystem-wide, nudging brainy picks post-homework. Bay Area pals beta testing kin swear it's like a sly valet crossed with a gadget guru. All right, deep breath. Snag that handful of trail mix if it's calling, because the curveballs ahead might just upend your whole routine. Tucked in tvOS 26 beta strings, per Gadget Hacks, lurks one scorcher, an onboard camera. That's right, a sleek front facer etched into the Apple TV chassis, primed for epic FaceTime sprawls on the grand canvas. No more cramming the fam around a MacBook for Nana's virtual cake smash. Now it's larger-than-life grins flooding the wall, spatial sound wrapping you in their laughter like a hug. Deeper still. Hand flourishes to flick interfaces, thumbs up to flag faves, even ASL decoding for seamless access. Apple's inclusivity flex in full swing. Glance at this pilfered sketch from Patently Apple. That pinpoint LED topper is a LEDR-TOF combo, not solo for calls. It paves spatial proxies, beaming your mug in 3D via Vision Pro, life-size and layered. Locked in? Fingers crossed. But the code teases cam feet's hollering cross-device harmony in play. Oh! And if you're like me, a weekend warrior grazing Apple Arcade amid the Bears' kitchen frenzy, this is catnip. Paired with a 17 Pro ray tracing, brace for blockbuster transplants tuned for tvOS. Death Stranding's ghostly expanses in pristine 4K, Resident Evil's undead hordes with gore that lingers, prompting a pre-bed perimeter sweep. Ditch the boxes, sync a backbone or AirPlay from iPad. Underground Whisper. Apple's inked with Capcom for Resident Evil Village at native 120 frames per second, ray-traced Dolby Vision glory, eclipsing PS5 benchmarks. Haptics? HomePod rumbles in tandem. It's Apple's stealth strike in a lounge battlefield, outshining Roku's bare-bones ease and Fire TV's ad barrage without the corporate strings. For squad players, multi-room lobbies laced with FaceTime jabs. Ideal for coast-to-coast rivalries. But let's tether this back to your real-world rhythm. Fellow American dreamer, you're likely toggling Hulu for the day's headlines, Prime for prestige drops, YouTube for those hypnotic furball reels. These 2025 whispers herald a universal search that raids every corner, unearthing relics like your childhood 90s laugh track. It'll parse not just completions but skips and surges, tailoring nudges with surgical grace. Plot snag in succession? Siri recap spoiler shy. The weave? Effortless. iPhone as vibey remote with pulse nudges. Watch taps for mid-chop scene hops. It's less about swapping your slab and more about fading it into ether, spotlight on the tale itself. I hear the skeptics. Sound stellar, but the fine print? Pricing? Timeline? Valid probes. Entry point holds at $99, but the twist? Capped at 500,000 Q4 2025 drops. Recall Apple's M1 Ultra Studio vanishing in 11 minutes flat? Mark your slate, November 18th, 10 a.m. PST. Up specs with ports in space? Around $149. A bargain next to Roku Ultra refreshes. On deck, late 2025 vibes. September through December, dovetailing Apple's autumn whirlwind. Old stock vanishes from Best Buy per Mac rumors, priming the pump. Gurman eyes a keynote cameo, maybe paired with a HomePod mini glow-up for audio-visual alchemy. Here's to Black Friday magic manifesting your list. Now, let's indulge a dash of foresight, because what leak fest skips the what-ifs? Fast forward to 2026. tvOS patches breathe life. Piping Vision Pro bleed through for Hybrid Flick Fest where heroes leap into your den, or AR Ecom pauses ads to drape that Wayfair sectional in situ. Gridiron diehards? Live overlays on Monday Night Lights. Mesh your wager app, plays smart, always. Privacy? Apple's Fortress tightens with E2E shields on AI asks, keeping overseers at bay. The rub. Does it splinter the scene more? Roku's gratis glide tempts. Yet for ecosystem devotees, that Apple sheen, worth every leap, like trading a brick for an iPhone. Once savored, retreats off the table. Phew, we've traversed galaxies here. From the Silicon Supernova rewriting stream rules, to Siri's sly psychic evolution, lag exiling links, that tantalizing lens lore played at PAX Pro Punch, and home hacks reclaiming your clock. This transcends tin. It's the blueprint for how we recharge, bond, and vanish into wonder amid the daily storm. As October's chill nips the air, jack-o'-lanterns flickering beyond my pain, I'm electric with the possibilities. If the camera clinches it for you or the AI wizardry steals the show, sound off below. I devour every note and hit back where I can. If this sparked your spark, thumb up to fuel the feed. Stick around, bells on. For our iPhone 17 curveball chase next, it's primed to dazzle. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.